Thursday, we go to New York. All kinds of interesting races going on there. I think the most important is Zephyr Teachout, and then the second most important level are the IDC members. And Zephyr Teachout is in a three-way race between Representative Sean Patrick Maloney, conservative Democratic congressman from upstate, and Tish James, who's a New York City public advocate. James, I think, could have won this running away if she would have told Cuomo to take his endorsement and shove it. Instead, when Cuomo came to her and said, if you refuse the endorsement of the Working Families Party, I will fundraise for you, I will endorse you, you will have the backing of my machine, she said okay. She had risen to power with the Working Families Party. She's the first progressive candidate ever elected solely on the ballot of the Working Families Party, not as both Democrat and Working Families Party. And so it's sort of like a gang initiation, you know, telling her, look, if you have to shoot the Working Families Party in the head to prove your loyalty to the Democratic machine. She did it, and that has cost her. The New York Times declined to endorse her, saying that she's too close to the governor. One of the Attorney General's jobs is to clean up corruption in Albany. Hard to do that if your boss, you know, if somebody that you're beholden to is running that corrupt machine. And it also sends a signal about how tough and independent you're going to be about Trump if you end up cutting a deal like that. So that has hurt her, but she's still hanging tough in the polls. She has a strong progressive record. She has a strong base of support to draw from. A recent poll has her in second, just a point or two behind Sean Patrick Maloney. Maloney is a real estate and Wall Street funded guy who has been surging lately just because he's been able to drop millions of dollars, I think illegally, into the race. Wall Street had pumped millions of dollars into his congressional campaign, and he said, I can spend this in my attorney general race. Election lawyers don't think that that's legal. Zephyr Teachout has sued him to try to stop it, but what's done is done. He's wired the money. He's run the ads. And it's awfully ironic that a Wall Street funded candidate might break the law in order to become the attorney general to oversee Wall Street, but this is New York after all. And then a couple points behind, in third place, is Zephyr Teachout, a corruption expert, law professor, this is her third run for public office. First was kind of a protest run against Andrew Cuomo in 2014, where she did surprisingly well, which catapulted her to a 2016 congressional race, which she ended up losing, which then flowed into this one. This is the race, though, that she's made for. She has been one of the leading thinkers on how to challenge the Trump organization, how to challenge the Trump administration, and how to use the authority of the New York Attorney General, which is expansive if thought of imaginatively, to challenge and try to contain Donald Trump. Then the second row of elections I think are extraordinarily important are these IDC challenges, and you can just look these up because I don't know enough of the details to go into every single one. But essentially there is a block of Senate Democrats who over the years, with the guidance of Andrew Cuomo, have caucused with Republicans. There are more Democrats in the Senate, yet Republicans control the chamber because a handful of these Democratic senators went over and sided with Republicans. And what that does, even if Democrats have the votes for a particular issue, if Republicans don't want to bring it to the floor, they don't bring it to the floor. That benefits Cuomo by being allowed to say, boy, I would really love if we could push that progressive legislation through, but aw shucks, the Republicans just won't put it on the floor. Nothing I can do about it. Under pressure from Cynthia Nixon, they finally dissolved this IDC, but there's no reason they couldn't recreate it again if they're not defeated. Each one of them has significant challenges from Democrats in the primaries. You can look up whether or not you live in one of those districts. Jessica Ramos, Alessandra Biaggi, a couple others. I think there's at least 7 or 8, and we could see a number of those go down.